Yo, that final scene was too good.
I know, right?
Holy shit.
I loved it. We need to get Chris. We need to start filming like right away.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Oh, there you guys are. Playing forever.
Nathan, how'd you get here?
Oh, you guys mentioned that you'd have me back on, so I took the liberty of starting a new show. You're welcome.
Okay. Give us a minute.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you invite him?
I didn't invite him. How did he even get in?
Oh, this is pretty fucking creepy, man. I don't want to talk about Fast and Furious again.
Dude, all he does is talk about Fast and Furious. It's Tokyo Drift this or Vin Diesel. I don't want to fucking do this.
Okay, wait. Maybe if we just film this one episode, we get it over with, we should be solid.
Okay, Robert De Niro.
Okay, Al Pacino.
Okay.
Welcome to Real Late Night Talks, Episode 1.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts.
My name's Matthew.
My name's Todd.
My name's Todd.
I figured I might as well bring a new personality for the interviews.
Josh be like, hey, my name is Troy. I got a basketball game tomorrow.
And
I'm a Bogard.
Let me drink my coffee first.
and this is the show where we talk about
Yeah.
movies. I guess we get into more, broad topics like genres and
Yeah.
subgenres that we
Yeah.
enjoy, and movies we like and maybe don't like.
Yeah.
And for this episode, we thought we'd start off talking about Pixar films, which I think all have a place in our hearts.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
For sure.
Pixar is definitely that one company that has resonated with a lot of children over the years. When it first started with Toy Story to I think their most recent film was Lightyear, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I want to say we're blessed to grow up in the Pixar era. We're the perfect age.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, for Pixar.
Yeah.
They had such an impact on our childhood, and they were coming out. These classic films were coming out as we were kids.
Because what does today's generation have to live with? Minions.
Yeah.
They got the Minions movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very artistic.
What kids movies are coming out now? I mean, Disney's still putting out some decent.
I mean, Pixar's still doing their
Oh, yeah.
thing. I'd say, yeah. But,
Yeah, but
not
it's-
as classic as
Yeah.
the early 2000s stuff that we were growing up.
No,
was-
early 2000s was because I think around that time it was John Lasseter and a few other people. They created Pixar and they basically threw out ideas. And there was this famous meeting. I think it was at a dinner where they were they threw out the Toy Story idea. They threw out the Wall-E idea. They threw the Monsters Inc. idea. They threw all of these Finding Nemo and stuff. And it's just these were all rough outlines that became
Unreal.
The most classic animated films of all time.
And really push the boundaries. And in the time where a film like Toy Story, there's nothing before it. There's no reference point. It's the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think about. I'm actually curious because you did a little bit of research on Pixar.
So I was actually quite surprised when I was diving into Pixar. They have a deeper history than I thought. Pixar started in 1979 as a part of Lucasfilm Computer Division, which I didn't know. So, I mean, again, Lucasfilm revolutionizing more things than I even thought they did,
Oh yeah.
Then it spun off into its own corporation in 1986 with funding from Steve Jobs, who became its majority stakeholder.
Oh yeah. That's the thing that a lot of people are a little bit aware of Pixar, but think about 1986. There was a film that George Lucas produced and his company worked on. It was a film called Howard the Duck.
I saw you pulling that up before.
Howard the Duck came out in 1986, the summer of '86.
I don't know about Howard the Duck.
It was regarded as one of the worst films of all time. It flopped hard at the box office.
Flopped.
Exactly. Yo, that was totally intentional.
Put
Yeah,
that in post. Put that in post.
It made no money to the point where Lucasfilm had to sell most of their estate from Skywalker Ranch to the company of Pixar. So, if Howard the Duck made money, then Pixar would not have been the way it is now because of that.
So what I hear you
So
saying
shout out Howard.
thanks for flopping.
He flopped so Pixar could
Fly.
run or
Could
fly. Oh,
Yes! Oh my gosh!
that was the one,
This
John.
guy is hitting home runs right now.
This is why you guys invited me, huh?
Oh hell yeah!
So then, from the research I did, Disney did not believe in the early vision of Pixar
No, yeah.
in the Toy Story era. But then, I mean, Pixar was undeniable, and in 2006, Disney purchased Pixar for $7.4 billion.
Well, that's a lot of money, but
Yeah.
Disney's got that kind of money.
Well, obviously, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, 7.4 billion sounds like a lot of money, but then when you look at the list of highest grossing Pixar films, Incredibles 2 made 1.2 billion alone.
yeah, that
So
mhm.
unreal.
It's
that
kind of
this
crazy
is-
how the highest grossing Pixar films now are sequels,
I know.
which is
Yeah.
crazy to think about because like
And a lot
Well-
like more recent films like Incredibles 2, which came out in 2018.
yeah,
Toy Story 4, which came out in 2019. I mean,
these are all the
deserving,
2010s like
Yeah,
that
all from
decade.
2010s.
Definitely,
Yeah.
nostalgia has a big thing to play about.
Oh,
play
for
into
sure.
it, because it's definitely like, we grew up watching these movies.
So
loved them
we'll
as
always
kids,
watch a sequel.
and then
Yeah.
we get adult money, and then all of a sudden a sequel comes out to this movie that we have such a nostalgic love for.
Yeah,
And a sequel comes out, so we're like, oh shit, let's go watch it. So all these 20-something-year-olds
exactly.
who loved The Incredibles when
Mm-hmm.
it came out are like, oh shit, they're making a sequel? Let's go watch it. I have money now. I can go watch it. I don't have to wait for my parents.
Plus the new kids who are
Yeah.
experiencing it for the first
And
time.
I didn't even factor that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's almost like they have two demographics that they're able to take advantage of. They're taking advantage of the kids because it's a kids movie, but then also these adults that were kids when their first movies came out. I think that has a big thing to play into why it's mostly the sequels that are making the
Yeah.
big money.
it's kind of crazy too because like as much as like Pixar revolutionized so much of like 3D animation and stuff, it was a big deal at the time because like before Toy Story, was there any 3D animated films? that
From
came
what
out?
I understand, it's the first of its kind.
Yeah.
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 It came out first, and I think
I mean, I think there were they wouldn't really
it was just like little
little
snippets
bits of 3D animation
Right.
into 2D films.
Yeah, because like I think the first war of 3D animated films was Bugs Life and Ants.
Yes.
That was when like because I think DreamWorks did Ants, right?
Yeah.
And Pixar did Bugs Life. Which one did you guys prefer, by the way? Out of
Bugs
those?
Life.
Bugs Life. Yeah.
And I
I
love
definitely grew up. Yeah. with
I'm more of a
Bugs Life.
DreamWorks guy, but I prefer Bugs Life. I like DreamWorks more because of Shrek, because I grew up watching Shrek.
Yeah. Bugs Life had more interesting characters, I would say. Ants felt more like
I also just didn't like the character design in Ants. It
Oh,
was
okay.
creepy.
Yeah, I
just-
agree.
As
From
a
what I
kid,
They
remember,
were a little. Yeah, they creeped me out as a
We were
kid.
Yeah.
kids, so how they looked was a big factor.
because what I remembered from Ants was it felt way more mature than Bugs Life. Just
Yeah.
the humor and even like the themes that it was giving off. It was like tyrannical and stuff.
Yeah, to
and
me,
I'm-
DreamWorks always feels a little more mature. Like I don't know.
Well, they
have-
try to throw in
or-
something that will make you think a little bit more into their movies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even
are-
like what was it? The guy who founded DreamWorks, Jeffrey Katzenberg. He originally worked for Disney.
Yeah, and
And he was like, I
he
fucking
le-
hate Disney
left
now.
Shrek.
And that's why I made Shrek.
And
Because
everybody
all
knows.
you, yeah.
Shrek is so good.
But it is good. It came out of like somewhat of a pessimistic
Yeah.
viewpoint, but it kind of worked as being a nice story about not judging people by like the
How they look, we could judge them by their character, even though they spend the entire
They
movie
make fun of
making
Farquaad.
making
Yeah,
fun of
Farquaad,
Farquaad
yeah.
being short.
that's the joke.
I feel like with a topic like Pixar, we all have such unique experiences because
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I don't know about you guys. Like to me, like I was the kind of kid who just spams a movie that I like
Yeah.
on
Yes.
every day. Like I
Me too.
start reciting films, and I want to kind of get into each of our experiences as a kid. For me, I'll start off. It was Monsters Inc. That's my
Oh
film.
God,
Really?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Pixar film of all time. I had the VHS tape, the blue VHS,
Yes.
and I was playing that thing until it wasn't working no more.
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
I loved the song that they sang. It was like, if I were a rich man with $1 million or $2 million, and then he's like, I'd live in a pen. Is that the song?
I didn't watch. I've only watched Monsters Inc. like twice in my life.
Oh my god.
You're
I
due
didn't
for a
watch it a lot.
rewatch. You're always due for
The
a
first
rewatch.
time I
music in
watched
that
it.
film is amazing.
Yeah, I love the opening.
Oh
song.
my gosh, that opening is the
Oh,
doors
it's
and the
so good.
It's no. When I watched it, when I finally got around to watching, it, I was like, "This is a great movie." But the first time I watched it was when I was like 13.
So what was your like Pixar
It was Cars.
Cars?
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of movies growing up. So like, I wouldn't say I rewatched Cars religiously because that was Shrek for me, but we're talking about Pixar. So I got a bootleg version of Cars from my uncle,
Nice.
and I watched that all the time. And I distinctly remember there's that scene where Lightning McQueen tries to drift for the first time, and he just goes straight into this thing of cactuses,
Yeah.
cacti.
Cacti.
And I remember the bootleg version I had. There was no audio. It was like
Oh, I just cut that part.
the part was in it. I just from the whole from the whole part of him turning and him crashing. No audio. There was like a man's voice speaking. You could also see people standing up in the theater and walking away.
Oh, it was one. It was like a filmed one.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, it was
God.
one of those bad
2007, man.
bootlegs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
From the fucking flea market. Ooh.
So
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
hear the rest of the film.
No, I heard audio came back in when Lightning's like, ow.
Okay.
Oh, so it was just like a quick like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Cars was the movie I watched a lot as a kid, and that's why I grew up to like Cars. You know, I'm not Christian levels of car guy, but no, I really liked Cars when I was a little kid. My older brother always would never let me play with his Hot Wheels, but I liked Lightning McQueen, and then I watched it as an adult a few years ago.
And it holds up.
It holds up. The first one
Yeah.
at least.
Most of these movies
First
hold
one,
up.
yeah.
Like.
I recently got plastered and watched Cars 2.
Oh my God.
And it was not good. But Cars 1,
Yeah.
it has a good message, slowing down and learning to enjoy life.
Life do be a highway.
Yep, I love that.
Dude, yeah.
That's a good
Nevis,
song.
what was your Pixar movie? When you were
Growing
a kid?
up,
Yeah, growing up.
I would say growing up was more Finding Nemo. I would say
Yeah.
the music in it, it's beautiful. It's a very good story about just a little clownfish trying to find his son.
For me, Finding Nemo felt like it was way too long when I was a kid.
Honestly, to me, too.
Incredibles
Yeah.
was the longest Pixar film. I think
Really?
it was like 2 hours. It was
I
like
didn't
it's
watch-
like 3D animated films never reach that. But
Again, I never really
Yeah.
watched a lot
like
of movies
Toy
growing
Story
up.
is like just over an hour. Like it's
oh, that
or-
one's short.
Or it's
yeah.
like yeah.
It's like 80 minutes, I would
Yeah.
say.
So I think it's like
'Cause, like-
70 something minutes or 80 minutes.
Yeah,
let me look
because
it
like
up.
I
I
grew
could
up
pull
with
it up.
Finding Nemo, but I would say like my all-time favorite Pixar film
Yeah, it's
is
80 minutes.
80 minutes, eh? Look
Yeah,
at that.
it's
wow. God damn.
That's yeah.
That
I mean,
was
it was an experiment, right? I guess they weren't sure about this 3D animation, and at the time of Toy Story coming out, there was no reference point, so you couldn't be sure if this was the future of animation or not,
Right.
Well, they took
Yeah.
a bet and they clearly.
Yeah.
and it paid off.
Because like it wasn't. It was pretty expensive too.
Yeah,
at the time.
for
it was
sure.
like 35, 40 million it cost, and who knows? They could have lost that money, and
Yeah,
we wouldn't have gotten anything from Pixar.
but clearly we liked it.
Yeah, but like I think as I grow older, my favorite Pixar film is probably Ratatouille. That one,
Really?
that one, like to me, has aged the best. It to me is like if Pixar had a wine, it'd be Ratatouille. It's just like this
You wanna hear
nice
something?
French wine bottle. Yep.
Never seen Ratatouille.
What?
I've
Sacre
never,
bleu.
I've never watched Ratatouille. I've seen bits and pieces of it when it's like on white TV when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd like it because
You will
it was
like
about
it.
rats.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've
It's
heard
about
so
rats.
great.
It's about rats. That's why you haven't seen it. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's something about rats.
But yeah, to this day I've never seen Ratatouille in its entirety.
Wow.
Yeah,
That one is probably my favorite message.
yeah.
Is
Anyone
like,
can cook.
not everyone could be a great cook, but a great cook can come from anyone. It's
Love
this,
that.
It's this message of like the passion will be there, and it can be from anybody. No matter what career you take in, even if it's not within the arts, it could be anything. You're gonna have that within you, and it resonated with me so much that I still think about it from time to time whenever I like write a script or like work on something like creatively.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
yeah, no.
What about you? What about you, Nathan? Like,
As
what-
an adult, my favorite is
Yeah.
still Monsters Inc.
Oh yeah.
Could just so many, like hundreds of rewatches. Like seriously.
yeah,
Like
Oh, it's
my
great.
aunt always tells me like she hated Monsters Inc. because she would babysit me and I would just want to only watch that, and she was like, "What about this? What about no? I'm not interested."
that's how my grandpa feels whenever I bring up Shrek. Like I always watch
Oh,
Shrek.
Shrek.
So, but I
on
mean,
repeat,
I mean,
yeah.
also like Toy Story played a big part of my childhood. Looking at this, the Cars as well. I really
yeah.
liked Cars. Up when it came out, I thought it was so good.
I would say
Yeah.
Up is up there like as far as aging like wine.
Yeah.
yes.
Up.
But
I
I
can't watch
I
it.
have a theory on Up, and I don't know if this is true or not because I haven't looked into it as far as this. But the first 6 minutes of Up is the best thing that Pixar has done. Period.
Yeah,
100%.
The best.
I
6
think
minutes.
it's actually the first 11 minutes.
First
the
11. Yeah.
entire-
Thanks. to the point where I feel like they made the short and they're like, okay, because you know how Pixar has the beginning shorts before they play the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about those as well.
So they had that up thing, and they're like, okay, we cannot put this before any fucking movie because people will walk out
For real.
because of how good this is. That they're like, this the rest of this actual
The rest will
movie's-
fail in
it's like,
comparison.
shit,
to
let's just
that.
make this feature length. That is my theory.
But
because
it
of
worked.
how-
I mean, it worked well, and it's
Yeah.
probably true just because of how concise and
Yeah.
perfect that opening
Yeah,
11 minutes
it's
is.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the reason actually I can't watch Up anymore because it gets me so emotional.
I know.
that I can't watch Up. I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid, and
I
then
feel that.
grew up, and now I watch it and I cry, and I don't watch Up anymore.
yeah, it's
I won't. Yeah, I won't say it's the most rewatchable Pixar film because, like you said, it does get you in the feels, and
I can't take
yeah,
that.
I can't keep doing. Like when I watch Monsters Inc., I'm happy at the end every
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
it's a more satisfying watch.
for sure.
But yeah, I mean it doesn't mean that it's any worse of a movie. It's just
No,
more
yeah.
like
I also just I remember Up. Like I didn't watch Up when it came out. I watched Up a couple years later because my it was for my birthday. I got a couple movies on DVD for my birthday as a birthday gift, and Up was one of them. I think I got Up and Planet 51.
Oh my gosh, that movie.
Clearly, I liked one better. I
Yes.
watched Planet 51 like twice, and that was it.
Yeah.
And now it's just collecting dust in my parents' basement. But Up, I watched a lot, and it was the first movie that I remember being like, I really like this soundtrack.
Oh, that's yeah.
And not like
great.
I loved Cars and I love Life is a Highway, but I'm just talking about like just the soundtrack. I loved the Up soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think to this day I think it's one of the better ones.
think that
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Incredibles was a good soundtrack too.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Pixar has so many standout soundtracks
Oh,
and
yeah.
scores. Like it's unreal.
They got great composers working on this.
amazing composer. What would you guys say is your favorite?
Favorite soundtrack?
Yeah, for a Pixar film, which is a
Fly.
whole. Oh, that's
Oh,
yours,
you
right?
gave
Yeah.
mine.
I think Incredibles really reaches that for me because like I just love that action packed like music. You know what it gives me? It gives off like the overall soundtrack is like 1960s
Yep.
like
Yes.
heroic type of music. That's very. It reminds me of a golden age of like
Yes.
films.
It feels like a comic book on film. Like it's
Yeah.
just very.
It's also very dark. Like I remember comparing Incredibles to Incredibles 2 and Incredibles the first one, like that infamous scene where Mr. Incredible looks on the computer and like finds out all these people are dead and stuff. Like that is
Yeah,
horrific.
It is.
morbid.
It is quite.
That
dark,
is
yeah.
kids movie?
insane. It's like that's
I remember
yeah.
Syndrome's death like stuck with me. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, my man got pulled into an airplane into a jet engine.
You know what they say, no capes.
No capes. I think.
No capes.
I think my answer might surprise you guys.
Let's hear it.
My answer is Coco.
Coco's good though.
The songs
Yeah.
in Coco
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
are so catchy.
Oh yeah.
Coco is so good.
Honestly, I
The
kinda- I
one
kinda
song
forgot about that
though,
movie.
I get too emotional for. You know which one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
the final, the end song. Like
I
the-
think yeah.
you guys have both seen Coco, right?
Oh yeah. Coco's good. That one hit me hard. I think that's like that one.
Yeah, my expectations weren't that high because it was just like I didn't know too much about it while
Yeah.
going in. Like I don't even think I'd seen the trailer
When did
or,
it come out?
or any 2017.
Yeah,
It's pretty
5
recent.
years ago.
Yeah. And
I don't know,
wow,
I
was
haven't really
like
seen a lot of
I was 100% playing the songs on Spotify
Yeah.
like for a month straight after
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I was
That's
playing El Poco or Un Poco Loco.
I just I don't
That's
think
a
I
good
really
one.
watched a lot of Pixar films from the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I just really
I
know,
I want to give a shout out to Turning Red. That's the first Pixar film set in Toronto.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
give
a big
that-
look for us.
Give that a shout
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
That's
And
a big
it's
look
It's
for
a great
us.
movie too.
Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
also recently I watched Soul. I liked Soul a
Oh
lot.
was
my
good,
God,
yeah.
Soul was good. Yeah.
Soul was super good. Yeah.
Yeah, that has great music too. I just love that. Well, obviously the movie is about a musician, but it's just got great music, and I like that Pixar's trying different things. They're not just doing the same thing over and over again. Because that's the one thing I felt like there was a time where Pixar just Cars 2, Cars 3,
Yeah.
Incredibles 2, Toy Story 5. It's like, well, I'm glad that they're doing like Luca, Soul, Turning Red. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, why don't we try?
Luca was Pixar?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Luca.
actually might be one of my favorite ones actually.
I
thought
didn't
that
see
was
Luca.
Disney. I thought that was Disney. No, Luca. I fucking love Luca.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite one of the last 10 years. It's probably one of my favorite Pixar films, and I think the soundtrack in that is the best.
Nice.
Now that I know it's
Uh-huh.
Pixar, because I thought it was Disney. That's why I didn't bring it up.
So we've been praising Pixar this whole episode, but
Yep.
do you guys think Pixar has any misses?
Oh yeah.
Undeniably.
I think
So let's talk about the Pixar misses.
let's talk about the first dud that they had. I think we already
The
discussed
first,
it.
so this is how Pixar starts.
Yes.
Toy Story,
Great.
Bugs Life,
Good.
Toy Story 2,
Great.
Monsters Inc.,
Great.
Finding Nemo,
Great.
Great.
Incredibles,
Great.
Cars,
That's a
Yes.
good one.
Ratatouille,
Amazing.
Wally,
Beautiful.
Up. They're just
Beautiful.
hitting over the
Toy
head.
Story 3.
Nothing
Toy
but
Story
matters.
3.
That was the great conclusion, I would say.
And then
from-
Cars 2.
And that's the shit one. That's the shit.
But what a run. That's 11 films
I
that.
saw that. I saw it coming.
From
I knew
well,
it was coming.
think about it. From 1995 to 2010, 15 years worth of
No
the
miss.
most solid.
The MCU couldn't even do that.
No.
50
No,
no,
I
they
can't
had
think
Thor
of.
2 and
I can't think of.
Yeah.
Any studio or anything like that that has
Okay.
had a run like this.
I
It's
saw Cars 2 in
unreal.
theaters.
You saw Cars 2 in theaters?
Yeah, and then I mentioned that I got drunk and watched it
Yeah.
a few like last week or something.
What an odd decision to
Yeah.
center Mater in that film.
Yeah.
What an odd.
And then after that, in the 2010s, I think it gets a little
well, Brave was a rough one.
brave. I did
Never
not
watched it.
enjoy.
No, Monsters Universe. That's when they. This is the era when they started like trying to do sequel, prequel.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
right off the bat, you get Monsters University, Finding Dory, Cars 3, Incredibles 2. Like you don't see as many original stories as you did 10 years ago, which I felt like. Not to say the sequels are bad, but it's like you can tell that they're more dependent on nostalgia, familiarity.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, so the 2010s, I think a couple of misses would be Brave. I like Monsters University for what it was, but I think
Right.
it just can't.
It's
just-
not Monsters Inc.
No, it's big shoes to fill, right?
Yeah.
I thought Inside Out was good. Good Dinosaur.
I forgot about that. one.
That's a
That's
forgettable one.
I think that was
Yeah.
a bad one.
Yeah. Finding Dory.
Finding Dory,
Didn't
that
watch
was
it.
kind of forgettable as well.
Yeah. Cars 3
Cars
was,
3 was okay.
better than Cars 2.
Was better than Cars 2 for sure.
Looking at Roadkill is better than watching Cars.
That is true. And I would say Coco was the one that reminded me more of like the old-fashioned Pixar.
100%.
That was when I was like, okay, this is like
They're back to an original idea,
Yep.
and it's a banger again.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Agreed.
I'm actually curious, what do you guys think of Incredibles 2? Oh,
I think it was a
liked-
disappointment.
I liked it. I liked it, especially. I don't know. The wait was so long, so it was like, and
Yes.
I have a lot of nostalgia for Incredibles, so for that reason, I can't hate it.
Yeah.
But it's not Incredibles 1, like which seems to be
Right.
the case for a lot of these films. The sequels just fail in comparison to the
Yeah.
classic.
I feel like there was a lot of wasted potential with Incredibles 2 to the point where like I saw it a second time and I was just thinking of so many other ideas that they could have done. Like
Yeah.
why didn't they show Frozone's family?
Uh-huh.
Why didn't they expand on the Incredibles family itself? Why didn't they like what did Mr. Incredible have a dad who was still alive? Did he have a mom? Was it Elastigirl? Like, you know,
We
Miss
don't learn a
Fantastic?
lot
We don't learn
more.
a lot about them.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
feel like they were rinse, wash, repeat type of mentality.
100%.
Which I wish they didn't. And especially the new characters that they added, I felt like they didn't put as much
Oh,
effort
really?
as someone like Syndrome.
It's so forgettable. Like I can only really remember like two lines from that movie. There's math is math, and then
Yes.
I always thought the one line was funny was I disagree strongly.
Yes.
No, that was I got a chuckle out of that.
There was a couple, like, I remember the scene with, like, Violet and, you know, her dad was just trying to be,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
boyfriend and stuff. So, hey, you know, I thought that was cute.
that was funny.
They
yeah.
try to expand on that because, like, you see him as, like, the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, and there's so much that I don't know. I feel like it could have been more of a family film because these
Right.
are interesting characters and we clearly like them.
Exactly.
Let's watch Mr. Incredible deal with his daughter liking somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to go, like,
We don't need another big bad.
no. Especially the plot seems so familiar to the first one.
Yeah,
With
that-
the supers
it
and
really
stuff
felt like a
like that.
rehash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But going
What-
into Toy Story 4.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh.
I didn't really like it that much. I mean, I
No.
didn't hate it. I just kind of block it out of my memory.
The
because-
problem is 3 was so good.
Yeah.
It was a great conclusion.
3 was the great conclusion, and we didn't need 4.
No.
We didn't need it.
Yeah.
I think that was them. Like, I actually kind of feel disgusted by Toy Story 4 when I think about it deeply because I'm just like, why did you take something you had something so perfect? Why are you wringing it out more?
Yeah, but
Four,
it,
for
four
fun,
felt
like-
like a short story more than an actual.
That's probably what
like,
they should have
addition.
done.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, they're at the carnival. 10-minute long skit.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not like Pixar hasn't done that with the Toy Story franchise. They've done like a Halloween special. They've done various types of specials. Why couldn't they just make this?
But from
another-
a business standpoint,
Oh,
you
it made
know,
$1 billion. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
I mean, Toy Story 4 sounds a
That's
lot
the
better
thing.
than
It's
Woody
the
Goes to
second highest
Carnival.
grossing Pixar film.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And then like I would say like the more recent ones, Soul was good. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
Soul, Onward.
I didn't watch Onward. I wanted to, but I
Didn't
never
see
had
that
the
one.
fun to see it.
Is
Is there any of these that you would want a sequel to that we do not have a sequel for yet?
No, I love Luca, but I don't think it needs a sequel.
If I ever saw a sequel to Ratatouille, I would probably try to erase that from my memory.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why
It's
would-
like I
it's-
love it, but I don't want a sequel to it.
It's like a Wall-E 2.
Yeah.
If I ever see like Wall-E 2, I'm like, ugh, that just.
I feel like it's just a product of the times we're in film where everything is getting rehashed and wrung out
Yep.
for all the nostalgia that there is.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I'm so hesitant when I hear about a sequel. I'm more scared than excited when I hear about a sequel to a classic film that I love.
Yeah, because you're my.
'Cause
first
I'm like, are they
instinct
gonna
is,
ruin this
what-
franchise,
yeah,
right?
What are they gonna do wrong to it?
But like, I don't know. I feel like Pixar, they're gonna look at different perspectives all the time. They're gonna revolutionize. Like I'm gonna say it. Like as much as people can criticize the more recent Pixar films, the animation is always beautiful. They
Always.
always take chances with various types of
Always.
things. I remember watching a video on Toy Story 4 where they referenced different film lenses for their shots. And people are like, but it's 3D. How can you do that? It's like it's reference points, so you can see the blur effect from one character to another, the foreground, the background. And I'm just like,
It's unreal the thought that goes into
they
this
can
stuff.
do so much
for
with it.
kids movies essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the-
Oh yeah, it's amazing, and I'm glad that they're going that creative bound. They're taking those chances. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this talk about Pixar has been super exciting.
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap. Honestly, I want to watch every Pixar film now after this conversation.
Yeah.
But
wanna go
I
back
think
and
we'll
watch
wrap
Turning
up
Red.
with each of us listing our top 3 Pixar films
Oh,
in order.
in order. All right.
You
all
start.
right. Yeah, you start it.
Number 1, Monsters Inc. Surprise, surprise. That
Yes.
is my favorite Pixar film. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Coco,
Yep.
and number 3, I'm gonna go with Toy Story 1, just because of how classic
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess for me, number 1 would be Ratatouille. Number 2 would be Incredibles. Number 3 would be probably do Finding Nemo. That'd be my top 3.
Cars 2, Good Dinosaur. I'm kidding.
What the fuck? I was like, good dinosaurs.
Lightyear, number 3.
Lightyear. Oh.
No, mine would probably be Luca, Cars, Wall-E.
See, it's so cool how we all have such unique lists and how these movies all hold like different places in our hearts. And that's the cool thing about Pixar. It's so hard to pick 3. I mean,
Oh yeah.
so many that could
Yeah.
be top 3,
Well, it's
right?
better than trying to pick one.
True.
Yeah. Because you do that to me on the podcast, and I hate that.
Josh, what's your favorite film of all time? Go.
Like, no, fuck that. I'll give you
Yeah.
top 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
Well, Josh, I'll let you sign this off because you're so good at sign-offs.
Oh yeah, you are.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed the first episode of Real. What is this called? Real
Real
Late
late
Night
night
Talks.
talks.
Real
That's right there.
late night
Oh, you
talks.
see that? Yeah.
Right there, so you don't forget. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like, smash that subscribe button, comment down below what your favorite part was. Comment down below if you want to see some more of this stuff. We're gonna be making it anyways, but just feedback's always
Yeah,
appreciated.
we don't care, but yeah, we do.
We don't care, but we also do.
It's good to hear other people's thoughts.
Of course, yeah.
Check out our Instagram, our TikTok, and our Twitter. And if you want to support the channel, check out our Patreon. Don't forget to follow Nathan on Instagram. And Nathan,
Yes.
welcome to the Real Talk Podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Real
New
late night
segment,
talks.
Happy to
boys.
be here. Let's go. See.
See you later.
Oh, I like that. That might have to be our new outro. See you later.
Bye.
Peace out.